Hello students, in this lecture we are going to learn about what is copy editing, what are the roles of copy editor and how copy editing is different from proofreading. Okay, let's begin. So these are the main aims of copy editing. The first one is to remove any obstacle between the reader and the author. Sometimes the copy editor has to eliminate the unnecessary words, unnecessary information so that it will be a smooth transition between the author and the reader. So whatever the author wants to convey, he has to convey in the same way to the reader and to find and solve any problem. So the copyright has to look for libel and plagiarism, any unnecessary statement, so that the future problem can be avoided in the first stage itself. And production can go ahead with interruption and unnecessary expense. Yes. So this is the main role of the copy editor. So the copy editor has to limit cost and time. Okay, this is the common misconception about copy editor and the role of proofreader in the age of AI. There is less need for copy editing now, that authors can use computer software to check spelling and even grammar. Actually, it is not true. So we think that in the age of AI, we can utilize any AI, we can leverage the use of AI so that we could avoid all the mistakes. Obviously, to the extent we could avoid spelling errors, punctuation, all other things, but certain things even AI cannot do that copy editor is doing. Let's see. So here we have to understand one thing. Obviously, we cannot underestimate the usage of AI and computer software, but these computer software cannot read for sense. So it will not pick up libel. What is libel? Any unnecessary statement that would spoil the reputation of others. So it would bring a problem later. So after publication. So the computer software will not pick up any libel. And errors of misleading fact. No, the computer software cannot pick up to the extent. And potentially dangerous information. Only copy editor able to pick up these kind of misleading information. So the copy editor role is very important in publication so that we can enhance the quality of the text, and within the limited usage of time and cost we can publish a book. So the first process is the writer usually submit their book to the publication house. The publication house asks copy editor to look for uh, the consistency, any legal problem. So the copy editor would suggest if any changes required. So after that it goes to typesetter. The typesetter designs entire book, adds necessary pictures and format all the things, and the typesetter gives that copy to proofreader. So at last proofreader will be checking for spelling consistency and other spelling errors. So here we could understand one thing: there is a huge difference between copy editor and proofreader. So where copy editor role is required throughout the publication process, whereas proofreader's role is only at the last stage, that too only to check for spelling errors and formatting errors. So copy editor's role is more important in the publication process. So there are three types of copy editing. First one is substantive editing. So it aims to improve overall coverage of the text. It not only look for content, also it looks for further scope, length, level, and organization of the text. Sometimes the copy editor suggests better illustration. So all these things happen in substantiator editing. And also in this stage, copy editor looks for libel and plagiarism. That is very important in publication. And also sometimes the picture needs copywriting, and also quotation and illustration requires prior permission. So in that case the writer has to get those permission, otherwise it will lead to legal problems. So in this stage copy editor finds all those information. So the next type of copy editing is detailed editing. So as uh, the title suggested, it goes for detailed editing. So the author, the copywriter not only looks for content scope, but also the copywriter is very mindful about the choice of words used by author and the use of abbreviation, and whether the text is relevant to the illustration, whether the proper illustration is added. So everything in this stage copywriter looks for. And also in this stage copywriter looks for libel and plagiarism, and also look out for legal problem, whether any statement is added uh, in the perspective of spoiling any reputation of others. So in this stage also the copywriter looks for all these things. The next type of copywriting is checking for consistency. Actually, the main role of copywriter is checking consistency in the material. So it looks as if a mechanical task, but it is important task in copywriting. So copywriter checks for use of quotation, whether it is double quotation or single quotation, and whether all the writing style is following the writing style of publication, tables, notes, any cross reference, bibliographical reference. So everything copywriter checks during this type of copy. The main purpose of all these copywriting stages are to ensure the clear presentation from the author, so that the copywriter can send the text to typesetter, that the typesetter able to format a text clearly, so that when it is sent to proofreader, the time is limited and also they can reduce the cost. Otherwise, if the text goes without copywriting or copywriter suggestion, so what would happen? Definitely we have to spend a lot of time in proofreading, and it is quite expensive. Sometimes the publication house has to bear the expenses, otherwise the writer has to spend the expenses. So in order to avoid all the expenses and waste of time, so copywriting is very important, and we have to carry out the suggestion of copywriter, so that in the proofreading stage we can avoid the waste of time and also the expenses. Here you can see the different kinds of copywriter. Obviously, in an editorial desk, there are many kinds of copywriter. Editor, desk editor, production editor, sub-editor, copywriter. But more or less all the copywriter roles are somewhat similar. So in order to avoid the confusion, we are going to call all these copywriter in a single term, that is copywriter. I hope you understood the concept of copywriting, what are the roles of copywriter, and how copywriting is different from proofreading. See you in next lecture. Thank you.